Hey guys, Kev here, and I want to do a disassembly of the TwoSun, can't flick it, left-handed TS129. This is on loan from Jared over at Neeb's Knives. This will be a sort of first impressions disassembly, and basically I want to take it apart because it's absolutely just filthy. So I'm thinking it might be hurting the action, and Jared always says he doesn't care what I do with his knives, so let's put it to the test, right? We do have this TwoSun and this TwoSun in. This one is the TS300. This one's a little bit cleaner. It's got some oil in there. And you can tell by the action it's much cleaner in there. I don't feel any grit or anything. It drops shut. This one's pretty cool too. I could do a quick rundown of his knives, I guess, instead of doing a separate first impressions. This one, if you see the drop, it just doesn't really, Now, it could just be that's how this knife is. It's an interesting build. I certainly like this knife. I've heard a lot of good things about it. It's comfortable in hand. It's got an interesting sort of toucan blade shape. I always compare knives to birds. Like, that's a toucan. This right here is a pelican, right? So that's just kind of how I do it. Animals, I should say, not just birds. So we'll talk about this one real quick. Let's just rip through them. The TS300 here. This one is cool. I like it much better in video and stuff than I do in person. So I thought I would really like this one. I got it in hand, and I was kind of like, it's kind of like a Cybertruck knife. And I don't know. I like a Tanto, but this is a crazy, like, Arcane Design Necronaut Tanto right here, except you have a hollow in the back and a flat up front. I don't know, it's just not really my favorite. It's not the most comfortable for me. It's very neutral, but it's just, I don't know. Something about the knife just doesn't speak to me, I guess, is the best way to put it. You can flick it left-handed if you climb down there or climb up here. It's 14C, 28N. If you kind of get it right here where you want to be, it's pretty tough to get it out. Really strengthens that detent. There's a lock bar insert in there and everything. There's no milling, so you can see no milling on either side. Lock bar insert, over travel right there. Yeah, it's a cool knife. I hate the clip. I gotta say, I really hate the clip. It's got one of those flat clips that they put a little point on, which to me is just, it's the worst kind of clip because that point always will get caught on shit. Now, they did put the relief cut on the inside, which is nice. Keeps it clean and everything. I like the hardware. It's a good knife. It really is. It's the TS300. It's pretty light on the detent. You can see I can easily fail it if I want. But, I mean, there's enough detent for it to work. Thumb flick's good. And the blade is cool, right? I mean, it's definitely got a good edge on it. I don't know if Jared sharpened this or not. Actually, let's test that. And it didn't feel very sticky. It felt kind of smooth, but yeah, good edge on it. Yeah, it's a solid knife. That's the TS300. We can check the edge on this guy real quick, too. Yeah, that has a laser beam edge on it. And I'm pretty sure Jared put that on there. I'm pretty sure this is one of his favorite TwoSuns, and he uses this for work a lot, if I'm not mistaken. Next, we have the Custom 8020.5, or MG. I'm not sure which. I guess it's an MG because it's not a hologram. I'm not sure if that equates. There's some shit on the edge there. I did use this to cut... open a package yesterday, so maybe I just got some shit on there. Yeah, this one's gonna be brief. I'm not the biggest fan. I just don't like the strap lock, scorpion lock. I definitely don't like the colors. I don't like that it's not centered. I did try to... It had blade play, and I fixed that. You do feel the strap move a little bit when you do this. I guess it's blade play. I don't know, lock play. The one thing is, I had to loosen it a little bit to get it to drop like this, right? I had it too tight where it didn't have play, but then you couldn't really shake it down like this. You had to two-hand it or, you know, kind of guide it down. So I loosened it a little bit. So that's not ideal, obviously. It's a very cool mechanism. I don't want to sit here and just say it's terrible or anything. It's just not for me personally. I don't like how the clip kind of lands right in the middle of it. I could see that being an issue. I did not carry this. I don't plan to carry it either. And not because Jared would care, just because I don't want to. It's just huge and heavy and bulky and not, it's just not fun for me either. When I go to flick a knife, I tend to clench, like I bear down. And I'm putting pressure on the strap, and that makes it really hard to flick, right? With this knife, you kind of have to ease up because that strap needs to push itself backwards. So when you push the stud, it pushes the strap back and it gets the blade to go around. So you kind of have to ease up back here to get it to flick. And the strap is basically the detent. It's, I don't know, I guess for somebody who's a detent whore, like, it's just not ideal, you know, if that makes sense. Plus, you could get your finger caught in here, which would suck. Heard of people cutting themselves. But anyway, it's still a cool knife. We can check the edge on this guy. Yep, Jared definitely sharpened this guy up. So that's awesome. That's the custom 20.5. Let's check out the Megarons. So this is the Kaki, and this is the Keurix. I much prefer the Kaki. The front flipper is excellent. They put the jimping all the way up and around, and you just, I mean, you can't miss this flipper. It's excellent. It's in S90V steel, which is excellent. I think it's right there. Yep. Can you see that? Let me zoom in for you. S90V steel. You can see the micro milling. If this had been the first Megaron I handled instead of the Pagos, I would be would have been much more of a Megaron fan. I kind of wrote them off a little bit after the Pagos because I had such a bad experience. I mean, the centering was shit. The thumb studs are kind of shit. The inlay fell out. The clip was wiggly. Like, this knife, you know, you can wiggle the clip a little bit, but, I mean, I wouldn't really complain about it, I don't think, and I haven't tried tightening that or anything. The front flipper is excellent. Look at the action. I mean, it literally drops shut. And when I unboxed it, it had blade play. So I tightened it, and I was like, oh, there goes the action. Nope. I mean, it's still almost as drop shut, and it's going to drop. It's dead nuts centered. I mean, it's nice. I don't like the blade grind. I really don't understand these dual grinds that I'm seeing on knives, like the Coke Tools knife I have in. What are these, heavy use knives? So you need that? I don't know. Just give me the thin grind all the way, right? That's what I need. Especially in a titanium front flipper and S90V. Do you think I need I don't know. It's just sort of odd to me. We can check the edge on this. Probably a factory edge. This is a newer knife from Jared, I think. Very good on the grind there. So yeah, I really like this one. This is probably my favorite Megaron to date. That's the Kaki. Then you have the Keurix, which a lot of people are talking about, and they really like it, but I am not one of those people. Now, I like the look. I like the ergos in hand. They're good. You know, it does have that Olamic whippersnapper look that kind of just blew that knife up. So I don't want to, I mean, I'm not going to say they stole the design, but they took heavy inspiration, let's say. And they only did coated blade versions, which kind of annoys me because a satin would have been cool on this. Left-handed, you can't put your finger anywhere in this region, which is where it naturally lands. So you got to climb up here, or you got to climb down here to flick it. Right-handed, obviously, you're not going to have those issues. You can just flick it. My biggest issue with this knife is the flipper tab. It's enormous, and it gets in the way. My natural position to front flip it is right here. And what happens is that the tab comes in and pinches my finger and then doesn't deploy all the way. And I'm not even that high up, right? That's just my natural position, is to be like right here and to get hit with it. So you have to be like down here which then makes it awkward. I'm reaching pretty far for this tab, and I have a large glove size hand. And then I just don't get the right leverage to get it all the way out. It's just awkward because of that, right? Same thing right hand. I want to be here, and the tab just kind of hits me along the way, and it gets stuck. And then the worst part is disengaging it. Again, you have to have your hand beneath this point right here. So you need to be at least down here. And you go to disengage it. Yeah, that works, but it's awkward as hell to be down there. So what happens is you end up here, you go to disengage it, and front flipper hits you. So, I mean, to me, that's a detriment. To some people, that's a benefit because you can put your finger like this, catch it so it doesn't hit you in the thumb. And then, you know, you could kind of use that to your benefit. So, obviously, you would get used to the knife. I've gotten used to it now. See, there we go. It gets caught on a finger back here. Like, it's just too big, the damn tab. And honestly, I don't even think it needed it. Like, you could have either put a little tab or just got rid of it and just had the hole for deployment. I think it would have looked cool, you know, without the top flipper on it. But for me, that thing just gets in the way. Otherwise, you know, cool knife. I like the design. Wish it came in a satin. Again, fantastic edge from factory. Pretty sure that's a factory edge. That's the Keurix. And then the last one is my favorite, and that's the Delorme from Kaiser. This thing is incredible. I don't know what they did, but the action on this super lightweight 20 CV blade, I think this thing was like $100, 20 CV, and it just, I mean, it just dropped shut. It's an excellent liner lock design. It's a Justin Lundquist design, which is cool because it's actually a normal sized knife. I can hold this knife in my hand comfortably and cut with it. This is definitely by far my favorite out of the bunch I have here. You can do the normal sort of Bic lighter top flip. You can do the reach around flick. You know, that's pretty much what you're limited to. You can probably do the roller flick that I suck at. And it's just an awesome lightweight knife. And then my favorite part, I said this on a live stream last night, so if you saw it, I apologize, I'm repeating myself. What they didn't do is throw this freaking budgety deep carry clip that everybody throws on everything now. By the way, this knife is... they put a nice milled clip on here, nice and short, nice and beautiful. I mean, it matches the knife. It just looks excellent. I'd much rather have that than that crazy freaking budget clip that's on everything now. I mean, I'm talking to you, Wii. This is $100. You know, Wii is selling knives for $220 with that clip, you know, on titanium flippers. Like, they should have a 3D milled clip that matches the knife, you know. But this does, and the action is incredible. So that's the Delorme. Oh, the edge, I'm sure, is absolutely fantastic. It looks like it has a mirror on it, yeah. So, I mean, all of them have fantastic edges. So, that's the Delorme. So, if you came for the first impressions, there you go. Now, let's get into this guy. So, I'm just going to grab my Journey Toolco Tourist driver. I got this from River's Edge Cutlery. This is a fantastic driver. It's aluminum, but it's machined really well. And for me, it's become my favorite driver because of the grip I get on it. You'll see in a second. It's got a T8 in it. I'm just going to put it in, and I can spin in the palm of my hand. It's just so nice. So comfortable. You see we have a D-shaped pivot here. Looks like we're going to have to rip into this as well. Wants to come out the other side. If that ever happens to you where the screw tries to come out the other side, just push it with your other finger, and usually you can get it to come out the way you want. It looks like that's a tube, not a... I don't know, we'll see. Oh, the clip is mounted from the inside, so this is easy. Oh, geez. Okay. All right, knife. Calm down. Jesus. So there's that pin, yeah. So, I mean, it's not a pin. It's a barrel, but this side's stuck in there, so it kind of acts sort of like a pin. Make sure I keep those together because they go together. Here's our pivot screw and our pivot. I mean, that was super easy, and it's not as dirty as I thought. There's just disgusting oil Look at that. Ugh. Now, maybe Jared knows that this knife does not have great action, and he's done his best to fix that. So that could be what all that is. Or that could be from factory TwoSun juice, which is disgusting. So let me try to clean the pivot here. I always take canned air and spray right down into the pivot. That usually cleans out any gunk in there. Like that. Alright, so the pivot's clean. The pivot screw looks pretty good, actually. I might try, we'll see if the trick works, but this, the TwoSun pivots tend to take an O-ring pretty well, which would help it to not have any pivot walk or anything, and you don't have to use Loctite, which is nice. Let's clean this. You have an internal stop pin. I love that. It's probably my favorite stop pin design when it's built into the blade, because then you just don't need to, you don't have a stop pin that can run away from you or whatever. I'm going to use some of these microfiber Q-tips. You guys know I'm a big fan of KPL, obviously, so check out knifepivotlube.com. You can use my code LeftyEDC at checkout, and they have all types of cool equipment for maintenance. I have videos dedicated to that if you want to check it out. Let's see. I'm just going to clean in these stop pin tracks, and you'll see in a second why. Anything that can halter the blade from dropping is what I want to clean right now, because I want this knife to drop shut more. And there you go. There's just a ton of black shit in there. Let me get some alcohol in here. I usually just stick the Q-tip right at the edge of the alcohol and spray it in. Now, if you're anal, you could be here all day. So that's up to you. I'm not going to be here all day. But I obviously have gotten a lot of this stuff out. Clean up a little more here. Throw these away. And these are cheap, guys. They come in like 50 packs. They come in 100 packs. I mean, I might as well just burn through these. Nope, sorry. Get what's left over from the alcohol. Because that's one downside to the internal stop pin, is it's connected to the blade, so if it gets slowed down, the whole blade gets slowed down. Whereas on a stop pin that kind of goes through a hole in the blade, you probably have a better chance of it not affecting action. So you just need to, it needs to be done right if they're going to do the internal stop pin like that. This is what I call an internal stop pin. I don't know. I guess technically any stop pin that's inside the handle is internal, whereas blade stops are external, but I think you get what I'm saying. Beautiful edge on this knife, guys. Jared is a master with the stone. I'm going to clean out the detent ball hole, too. It looks like there might be some gunk in there. So let's just clean everything real quick. Clean around the stop pins because they have, like, schmutz all around them. And then I'm going to take this, put a little alcohol on it. And I'm going to clean inside the bearing pocket, too. Because I'm seeing, see that? There's some black shit. Anything that can slow down my blade, I want to get rid of, basically, is what I'm saying. You can also see that TwoSun has these bearing tracks pre-built into the washers, which is very cool. I mean, that's definitely going to offer a ton of smoothness when it comes to the action, because your bearings don't have to, these bearings don't have to create a track in the steel washer. You ever notice, like, you take a knife apart and it has a steel washer and there's like a black circle on it? That's your bearings creating, you know, they're wearing in a track in the steel, because ceramic is stronger than steel, so it'll wear a track-in. They pre-cut that track-in. That's pretty cool. Sorry, I know some of you know everything I'm saying, but some people may not. I'm tempted to try skiffs in here to see if it would be better, but at the same time, these are good bearings. So I don't know. They are pretty good. I don't know how often Jared gets into bearing swaps and stuff. What do I have in the 1/4 inch? Let's just see, because I think I bought some. These are 6mm. I wonder if that's what these really are. They kind of seem like they might be. Hold on. Instead of 1/4 inch, you know what I mean? I do have calipers. I guess I could check. I don't know if they'll be able to. 6.1. Look at that. It's 6mm. 6mm is less than 1/4 inch? Huh. I didn't know. That's why 1/4 inch bearings probably fit in everything. Interesting. I think I bought 2 sets of these. Now I'm guessing the 1/4 inches would fit as well. Oh, I do have another set of Gillians. Shit, I thought I sent them all back for... I have the taco bearings, and I should have a set of Delrins maybe too in the 1/4 inch size. But that's basically what these are Delrins. So anyway, let's just try these and see what happens real quick. They should be about the same size. They may be too thick. That's usually the problem you run into. They're pretty good. I mean, overall size. Yeah, they should fit pretty well. So let us commence reconstruction. You could tell one big difference between the 2 bearings, right? You see the amount of balls? These have way more, which is good, obviously. So let's get the KPL out. We're gonna bust this guy. I'm guessing, oh shit, I always fuck this up. This went through here. Did I lose something there? No, okay. All right, let us start. Put a little KPL in the track. Drop the bearing. Well, we got to make sure the track lines up. That's true. Seems like it does. Let me just see. Yeah, I think they fall right into the track. Okay. So then we're going to put a little KP schnizzle on there. We don't need to worry about a stop pin, obviously, because it's in there. Put a little schniz here and here and here. It's not coming out, so we're not actually doing it. There we go. Put the other bearing in. Put a little KPL heavy. Oh, I never cleaned out the detent bolt hole. Sometimes it's nice to just spray some air in the hole. Just in case, because that can mess your detent up. You wouldn't even notice. They fit flush, so they're fitting pretty good in there. I'm liking that. KPL there, and I need to put the detent bolt. Might be a little much. There we go. All right, let's put her together. We obviously need to line up the cutout there. Got it pretty lined up. Maybe a little to the left. All right, cool. We are through. Then we got to slide that pin in. Forget which side it was on this side. So that goes in. Obviously, we need to put the screw through it. It's tightening from both sides, so it's just twice the work, basically. Put these aside. And then we have, obviously, the pivot. I might try the O-ring, but it doesn't seem like he had Loctite or anything in here, so might not be of concern. Okay. So, I don't think that pivot is all the way tight or through. There we go. Centering. It's hard to tell with this two-tone. Looks a little off, so hang on. I don't know, it's hard to tell if that's centered. It looks a little off to me. Shoots out. There's no play. We also have no action. Action's about the same. Think they might be too wide. It's very smooth. I mean, it's definitely smoother on these bearings, but it also just doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel like I'm getting it tight enough. That centering's off, so just gonna double check my pivot. So maybe it wasn't all the way in. Hang on. Keeping that tight while I tighten this down. That's about the same, so I think they're just not going to work. I wonder if they're wider than the 1/4-inch bearings. Overall diameter, it doesn't say thick, 0.05. So where is a 1/4-inch? Just 1/4-inch, just 1/4-inch, just 1/4-inch. No, that's normal thickness. So, okay, let's just go back to stock bearings. Sometimes it just doesn't work, guys. I mean, or it doesn't help, in which case it's not worth putting your, however expensive bearings in if they're not going to do anything. And it might just be that these bearings line up with that track so well, These balls are not moving, though. That's the weird part. They're sort of stuck. I think I have another set, though. Hang on. Yeah, I think that's just how they are. You just can't really feel the balls rolling. Whereas on these, I can feel that, Well, not really. So, let's just move on, okay? I'll shut up. I'm sure you guys will be happy with that part. All right. Sorry about that. My wife came in with music on. I'm not sure if it would be some kind of copyright issue or something. All right. Let's try this again. Oh, great. Backspacer's not lined up. I hate when backspacers aren't lined up. It's the worst. There we go. Sorry, now I got that song in my head. All right, let's see if the centering improves. Maybe it was already a little off. I could not be certain. Yeah, it's pretty much centered, so I don't know. Maybe that's just how this knife is. No play. I'm going to double check this pivot again, because you can see it's seated fully. Bearings are in. There we go, that's better. There we go. Centering is dead on now. I don't know what I just did, but tiniest bit of play. Still the tiniest bit, but it's a little bit better overall. So, yeah, it's good to go now. I mean, I really have to wrench on it. I don't even know if I can get it to... Oh, there we go. Now it's tight, but probably doesn't want to, yeah. So this knife just does not have the best closing action. I'd say overall it doesn't have the best action. It's a cool looking knife. It is made to have a front flipper, so the detent, I guess, needs to be a little lighter for that. So you can easily fail it. But I mean, if you try to flick it, it flicks. Has that cool keyhole style blade. I like that. It does drop to your nail there and then shakes down pretty smooth. If you get off the lock bar, it's really smooth. It's not drop shut. It's got dead nut centering, and I think a lot of people like that. They don't want drop shut all the time, you know? It's already loosening. I mean, that's what I hate about. People are all about not having free spinning pivots, but they don't care about the blade walking or the pivot walking. I could care less if it's free spinning as long as there's tooling on both sides and it doesn't walk. That's what Riot does, on most of their knives anyway. So, I mean, would you rather have the D shape and have your pivot walk all the time? Or would you rather, you know, just have it be good? Well, I can try the O-ring, so let's try that real quick. I have way too many bearings. It's just not even funny. Where are you, O-rings? I know I have them, so I just need to find them. There's the Delrins I was looking for. Where are these damn O-rings? Seriously? They're gone? They gone? They gotta be in here somewhere. Sorry about this, guys. But you can see my mess. Oh, I have this ZT clip. Didn't even know I had this. I think it's an MXG Gear deep carry clip for a ZT or something like this shape. I found that the other day. I was like, oh, cool. I may have lost the O-rings, guys. I got them from OCD for EDC, and I need to get more sizes. And apparently, I just need to get more because I lost them. So, oh, there they are. Got them. Aha. But yeah, they only come in... When I got them, they only had the one size. So, they only fit certain knives. Luckily, they fit the CKF Evo 2.0, which helped a lot on that knife because that has a free spinning pivot with tooling on one side. But they also seem to fit these TwoSuns. You see how it's just wide enough to fit on there. On most knives, they're just too big, basically. and then they don't seat properly, it doesn't do anything, you know what I mean? I've used them on a number of TwoSuns. I've had pretty good luck, so let's see. So, go recentered, let's see. No play. No play, no action. Minimal play. See, sometimes they just don't work. They're hindering the action on the knife. That's good, but I bet you there's a ton of blade play. Yeah, so. Alright, didn't work. It's all freaking, you know, trial and error, guys. I trial and error a lot of things on knives. I think it might just be the way the pivot is designed. It doesn't have space for that O-ring to sit in there, I guess. I don't know. Alright, one last time, and then I'm going to stop this nonsense. No play. And decent action. Dead center. Okay, cool. So that is your TwoSun TS129 disassembly that took forever, but you know how it goes, guys. Thank you again to Jarrett for letting me check this bad boy out. I really appreciate it. Everything's good on it. I should double check this screw, I guess. There we go. Everything is solid. It's cleaned out now. And the action is just as not so great as it was before. So, thanks, guys. I hope you have a fantastic day. And I will catch you later.